I've taught IFRS for years, and this is the one picture that makes my students say, now I get it. In this video, I walk you through a simple mind map of IFRS accounting standards so that you can see how the standards connect, grouped into clear categories, right? By the end, you'll have a roadmap of IFRS in your head, something you can use in interviews, at work, or just to finally make sense of the bigger picture. I am Sylvia of CPD Box, the place to be if you want to learn IFRS as applies in practice. So go and check cpdbox.com, download your IFRS survival guide for free, and explore our vast resources. So, there are over 40 standards, and without a structure, it can feel chaotic. But here's the truth. Every standard fits into one of few big themes, and I call these IFRS Clouds because each cloud groups related ideas. This is not some professional term, that's just my mnemonic. So let's go through the 7 major clouds and what they include. Cloud number 1 is presentation and disclosures in financial statements. And these standards define how the financial statements are laid out, the form, structure, and required components. So the major standard to focus on is IFRS 18, the presentation and disclosure in financial statements, because that guides us about the structure and content of the financial statements. The other standards in this cloud are IAS 1, which has the same purpose as IFRS 18, but it slowly becomes outdated. IAS 7, Statement of Cash Flows. IAS 8, Basis of Preparation of Financial Statements, and this is the new name. It changes to that from 2027. So the older name was Accounting Policies, Changes in Estimates and Errors. Then we have IAS 10, Events After the Reporting Period, IAS 24, Related Party Disclosures, IAS 29, Financial Reporting in Hyperinflationary Economies, IAS 33, Earnings Per Share, and IFRS 8, Operating Segments. So all these standards guide us how and what to report in the financial statements. The next cloud is performance reporting. And these drive what performance means and how it's measured and presented with focus on revenues, expenses, and profits. For me, the essential one is IFRS 15, Revenue from Contracts with Customers, because it provides guidance related to the blood of every business, which is revenue. And the other ones in this category are IAS 26, Accounting and Reporting by the Retirement Benefit Plans. So this standard is focused on certain type of entities only. And the other one is IFRS 17, Insurance Contracts. Now we have cloud number 3, assets, acquisition, use, and disposal of these assets. So this cloud governs how you handle assets throughout their life cycle, from acquisition through use to disposal. It's really a big one covering a wide range of assets. So the core standard perhaps is IAS 16 on property, plant, and equipment, and other standards belonging to this category are IAS 2, inventories, IAS 20, about government grants, IAS 23, borrowing costs, IAS 36, impairment of assets, IAS 38, intangible assets, IAS 40, investment property, IAS 41, agriculture, IAS 5, non-current assets held for sale, and IFRS 6 related to mineral resources. Well, when I'm saying that some standard is core, I don't mean that the other standards are less important. No. What I'm referring to is that this standard is most common and most frequently referred to. The other group is liabilities and provisions. So these standards cover obligations, debt, and uncertainty around liabilities. Well, I would focus on IFRS 16 leases. It's fairly important, but the remaining standards in this cloud are also as important and quite significant. So these are IAS 12, income taxes, IAS 19, employee benefits, IAS 37, provisions, contingent liabilities, and contingent assets, and IFRS 2, share-based payments. Then we have financial instruments. This is the big group because this is the most complex area in IFRS. And the most complex one is, of course, IFRS 9 financial instruments. The related standards are then IAS 32, financial instruments presentation, IFRS 7, financial instruments disclosures, and IFRS 13, fair value measurement. And let me say that this standard is very important because it sets the rules for fair value, not only related to financial instruments, but also for non-financial assets and other items. Then we have group reporting and consolidation clouds. So how to report groups of companies. I would say that the two intertwined important standards are IFRS 3 and IFRS 10, both focusing on consolidations of subsidiaries. And the other important standards are IAS 27, separate financial statements, IAS 28, investments in associates and joint ventures, IFRS 11, joint arrangements, and two disclosure standards, IFRS 12 and IFRS 19, the newest standard. And then we have the cloud miscellaneous. This is the cloud containing standards that apply to special circumstances or are not categorized elsewhere, or they broadly apply to all categories, like IAS 21, the effects of changes in foreign exchange rates, IFRS 1, first time adoption of IFRS, and IFRS 14, which is regulatory deferral accounts, which has limited relevance, but it's still issued. So here is our map in a bird eye view. And also, I need to add, we have a conceptual framework for financial reporting that is not a standard itself, but it sets down the basic principles and guidelines for IFRS financial reporting. So it's sort of supporting document of all the standards. So this was my short IFRS map. You can download it on the link below this video together with my IFRS practical package. So please head to cpdbox.com and sign up to my free newsletter. Thanks for watching. Bye.